Do you remember when you first started becoming friends with boys? Like, for me, that didn't happen until, like, grade 11, grade 10.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing is that in elementary school, we were all pretty close.
Oh,
like,
right.
all of us would hang out with the guys. We'd all go to the park or after school, or we would go for walks or go bike riding or play, like, street hockey and stuff. So I was actually friends with boys when I was really young. But then, yeah, I'd say, like, even after school, we'd all hang out even grade 7 and 8.
Yeah.
But then in grade 9, everyone got a little socially awkward with each other because we're in high school now. And then on the weekends, a bunch of us would hang out at, like, someone's house. But then people started to get feelings for each other, got a little awkward. So then people started to hang out, just the guys, just the girls a little bit once in a while. And then grade 11 and 12, people started to get a little less awkward. But I found grade 10 was, like, the worst year.
For me, grade 10 was where I started, like, kind of opening up to the idea of having friends that were guys, because I had history with Mitch and Renee.
Oh, okay.
And they sat behind me, and I've been best friends with Mitch ever since that.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So because I never really dated anyone in high school or anything.
No, me neither.
But my parents had hockey boarders at our house.
Oh, yes.
And everyone forgets about this,
but
battalion? I was pretty cool for that in high school because so it was whatever the Sudbury team is.
Oh, the Wolves.
The Wolves, or I think at least. I might be lying.
I'm pretty sure it's the Sudbury
But
Wolves.
we had, like, I don't know what my parents were thinking, because I'd always, like, flirt with them and talk with them, and they'd hang out with me on weekends and stuff.
Were they Swedes?
So one was from Finland, one was from Alaska, and one was from Germany. They were all very nice. I saw them all on Facebook and everything. Super, super nice. And one of them I was very friendly with, but in, like, a friend way. He was just, like, kind of like an older brother. He was very, very nice. And then another one, I was like, damn. I was like,
Which one, Finn?
From Germany.
Oh, Germany.
He was just really pretty.
You've always said I don't have COVID. I just went for a bike ride earlier and my lungs hurt. I'll be okay. I'm not sure what's happening.
Voice just goes away. Take a drink of water or something.
We're good. What was I saying? You've always had a thing for foreign boys, eh?
Well, I don't know if that's what started it, or if it's just people like something different. I don't know. But yeah, I was in a house in grade 9 and 10 being a 14, 15-year-old girl with 17, 18-year-old hockey OHL boarders.
Oh my god. Yeah, because that's when you're first boys,
right? So I'm sitting there with my pool and my deck, and I'm, like, laying there. I'm like, hey. Like, I'm, like, sitting there. I'm like, hey. But
zero confidence. You still have your frilly bathing suit.
No, I did not. I was in grade 9 and 10. I had some fashion-ish. I
did not. In grade 9 and 10, I think I still wore, like, one pieces with shorts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All my friends wanted to sleep over. All my friends wanted to sleep over all the time. That we'd always have little parties at my house. Like, my parents would go out for the weekend, and the boys would be there. And then, like, my friend Julia and a bunch of friends would come over, and we'd all be, like, playing music. I think one time my friend Brooklyn, Julia, and I think there was someone else there. I can't remember which one of my friends was there as well. We thought we were cool, and we had a few drinks, like 4 or 5 drinks, because we were in grade 9 or 10, right? And we had the music going, and they're downstairs, and they're, like, starting to hang out with us a bit and chat with us. Because they were all super nice.
And they had nothing else to do.
They had nothing else to do, really. And they weren't supposed to party because they're in the OHL, so they would have a few drinks. But they would just kind of sit there on their laptops, whatever, and hang out. So they came downstairs, and they were hanging out with us. And we decided to do the cinnamon challenge.
Oh, that's a very sexy challenge to do, man.
I'm pretty sure 3 of us puked in a sink at one point from the cinnamon.
I almost...
It was... now I'm like, why did we do that? Like, we were with hot boys. Like, why were we...
Because you think it's hilarious.
I guess so. And we're also the kind of people where, even though we liked boys and we thought they were cute and stuff, and we probably try to show off a little bit, we weren't gonna not be funny or be ourselves at all at the same time.
That's hilarious.
So.
Oh my god. I remember me and Mitchell did the cinnamon challenge, and it's probably on YouTube somewhere.
It's painful.
Still. I almost died. You can almost die. I'm pretty sure one person has died from the cinnamon challenge.
The only other worst challenge is the one where you eat the 5 soda crackers at the same time or whatever. You feel like you're gonna choke and your whole mouth is so dry you can't swallow a thing.
Right.
And then you're talking and there's just spraying cracker crumbs like everywhere.
I remember that's what happened with the cinnamon challenge. We set up like the camera and then we do this cinnamon thing and then I laughed and then Mitchell started choking and then we just had to rinse our mouths out with water and then you had to clean up the fucking cinnamon.
And then it's all fun because you're cleaning, and then you want to throw up even at the look of it.
Oh my god. Oh fuck. Grade 10 was a very awesome year because that's when like I had because I had one best friend from grade 8, Ricky. We were really close. And then, but you can't kind of mesh two groups together in high school. Like it was a whole thing. And
well, because I don't know what your high school was like, but we were very cliquey, our high school. So I was the kind of person, I have my groups of friends that I stay with, but I chat with really anyone. I wasn't rude, but at the same time I avoided quite a few people because I just didn't want to be around them.
Our cliques were like, there was
Julia
like the
was
popular,
the same. She'd be like, ugh.
There was a popular people and you knew they were popular because starting grade 9 they were hanging out boys and girls and like we weren't doing that. But they hung out in the same hallway that we hung out in at lunch. And I think it was grade 10/grade 11 when me and my group of 4 started hanging out like in the gym because not electives, but just they would have the sports playing during the lunchtime, so we would do that. And I sweat all the time, so I wouldn't really want to play any sports, but I would still go in there just to hang out and stuff. So
I spent almost all grade 11 and 12 for the most part. In my spare, I would either sit in the cafeteria or I go home sometimes in my spare. But I usually spent my lunch after eating, or sometimes I would just go right to the library just because there's so much going on. Like, and that's just who, like, all my friends would kind of do that. We were just, not because we were nerdy or anything.
You hang out in the library?
We would go and do we would do our homework in the library because all of us had jobs.
Right.
So I couldn't, and I don't know, like, we didn't at the same time though. We'd also go do other things, or we'd go for a drive, or we'd hang out outside.
Depending.
But a lot of times, especially by the end of the year and at certain times of the year, we would just sit in the library.
Oh, good for you. God.
Do homework.
Yeah, we would either be before we could drive. We were hanging out.
Everyone got a little nervous about not getting into university, so everyone was like,
oh my god, like, yeah, I never had that issue. After my group of 4 kind of evolved into a bigger group with like some Mitch, Renee, a few other people, and then grade 12 was when I started, me, Mitch, and Jessica kind of separated from the other group because there was a bunch of drama, and then other girls made your own little we each kind of evolved into our own little cliques, and like that's fine. We were still most of us were still were on talking terms and stuff like that.
They said, your friends when you're little aren't necessarily going to be your friends in high school, and then your friends in high school aren't necessarily going to be your friends out of high school. And it's crazy because it's true and it's not true, at least for me.
Yeah.
Like, I have my few friends from elementary school that I still chat with, talk to, or when I was younger, and best friends with. And then I still have my friends from high school that were still best friends, and nothing's changed. But then I've also met people in university and work, and then it really starts to fade out, and you keep your core people. But it's because I remember, like, I was like to my mom, I was like, what? I'm like, we're best friends forever.
When you were planning your wedding in grade 6.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you're going to be my best
bridesmaid.
Yeah, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Like,
you're going to throw rice at me? Like,
so
you knew.
Insane. Yeah. Like, me and Jessica have been, like, that's my core, like, my main friendship from that. And then, my other friend, like, Mitch from grade 10. It's still crazy.
Talk. People come, like, sporadically, and you never know that that's going to be your
best friend.
You
never know who's going to stick around.
No.
Because, like, my one friend, we were friends from before, like, elementary school. Like, we didn't go to the same elementary school. She was in French immersion. Okay. And we were best friends for years. Like, when my parents told me, I think it was my senior year, so grade 12, and I went back for a second year of grade 12. So in my first year of grade 12, my parents pulled me and Taylor into the kitchen and said, we're gonna separate, like, this is what's happening. And it was like That was probably one of the most...
I didn't realize that happened when you were in grade 12.
Yeah.
Your first year. Oh, I thought you were a bit
Actually,
younger.
it might have been 11.
Oh, I'm not sure. I thought you were...
Okay, so like my grade 12 and my second year grade 12 years blend together because I was a stoner. But it was grade 11. I believe that this happened. So my parents were like, hey, we're separating. And we're like, what the fuck? And that just like threw...
Yeah, that's hard.
Nobody was expecting it. Not our family, friends, anything. So, and my friend from daycare, I walked to her house. She was like a block and a half away. I was like, I didn't cry when my parents told me that they were gonna separate because I wasn't okay with emotions at that point. But I walked over to my friend's house, and her family were getting into the vehicle because every Sunday they went to their grandparents for a dinner, and I would go a lot, and I was practically part of the family. I could just walk in whenever I went there. So they were loading into the car, and I went, and I'm like, hey, are you busy? And she's like, yeah, like, what's up? I'm like, just started bawling. I'm like, my parents are separating, and they're like, oh my God. And then the parents got involved, and they're like, okay, get in the car. I was like, you're coming. Yeah, so I went to the grandparent.
That's probably a good distraction, though.
It was, yeah. And like, if you would have asked me 10 years ago if we were going to still be friends now, I would have been like 100%. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, and you guys
she was my best friend.
While.
No, we haven't talked. I seen her, the last time I seen her was last year before I went to Kenora. And I seen her boyfriend in Sports Check. I was getting my bike checked out. And he's like, oh, she's over there if you want to go talk to her. And I actually tried to avoid her.
Oh, because it's just you felt like it was
I'm like, because we started drifting apart when I started smoking weed. Because we had different views on that, I guess. And that was when we started drifting apart, and I didn't talk to her for about 2 years until I got back to university. In my first year of university, I remember it was my first reading week, and she was going to a different university out of town, and I messaged her and I said, I know that we have had our issues, but like, I love you, and I am excited to see where you go in life. And like, I messaged her and reached out. And then we got together, and we would get together like once every 6 months, and then it went to once every year, and then I haven't talked to her since last year. And
that's okay though, because you both know you're there for each other, but at the same
Exactly.
time you aren't supposed to be, maybe right now at least, in the journey.
Exactly, and like, she was my person back then, but she's not necessarily my person now.
And I have friends like that too, where I still keep up with them, and I actually care about them even if I don't talk to them for a long time. But at the same time, we're just on completely different paths and worlds. And,
that's right.
And the people who are the most supportive and the people that are there for me are the ones that keep me right now. So
the weirdest thing was like, one of my first best friends, we went to daycare together. So before even elementary school, she lived 2 houses down. We were inseparable.
Aww.
And she went to French immersion school as well. But I think in grade 2 or 3, she came to my school, to the English school, and she started hanging out with the cool girls.
Oh God!
So it was weird. It was really weird for me because I wasn't confident. I wasn't like, I was always nice to everybody.
Were you nervous around them?
I was very nervous, and it was weird because I didn't know how to act around her, and I was.
And was she not understanding, or did she not realize you were uncomfortable, or she just didn't care?
It's not like I would go and try to hang out with them. I would say hi to her in class and stuff.
Oh, and then
but during recess, it'd be like, oh, I'm going to go hang out with Jess and my crew.
The ones you felt comfortable with.
Yeah. Exactly. So it was very weird to see that. And, like, we still talk, or... It's not like we keep up with each other, but we have each other on Facebook. We keep up, and she lives down...
Isn't it crazy how people can be friends, and then they'll go and be friends with someone else and choose them over you, and it just keeps moving around?
It is weird. Because at one point, even, like, me and Jessica's my closest, oldest friend. And at one point, she had a different group of people than me. Yeah. Because I wasn't comfortable around those people. They were... But but we always came back, or when I started smoking weed, Jessica was kind of with us a bit, but she's like, I need to take a step out of this because, like, that's not where my path leads me. 100%. Like, you just deal with whatever.
And then eventually you stop too, because, like,
exactly,
whose path is being stoned all the time?
Yeah.
But when you're young and you have really nothing else to do,
exactly,
why not for a little bit?
And my stoner life, like, that brought me to a lot of other people, and I have created a lot of connections through that too, but none really that have lasted.
Like it hasn't made you.
Like I think I have one or two like really good friends from that time. 2 or 3. I don't know whoever's listening, but
you're like, I don't know who's listening to this. There's a few.
There's a handful of people from that time, and
there's a lot of them who are super nice too. And I actually, if I bump into them, I'm like, hey, how are you? Oh my god, hi. But at the same time, I'm not hanging out with them just because it's not the same at all. Yeah. Like I have asthma, I can't smoke weed.